All right, come along for a farm tour. It's early summer. We just had Memorial Day. I will show you around the farm and what we've been growing. Okay, so we'll start out in our big greenhouse. We've got some cherry tomatoes and some cucumbers in here. The cherry tomatoes are just starting to produce. It's pretty good. Late May, just had Memorial Day. Tomatoes are head height, and we've got our new trellising system that is working out really well so far. So we're wrapping the strings around these screws on these upright posts, and that's kind of holding these tomato plants back. So looking good in here. Got a little bit of early basil that's producing, and some eggplants. Tried to go really intensively on the eggplants this year, try to get a lot of plants in here. And then our cucumbers have just been going bananas this spring so far. They've already, it's kind of hard to tell, but they've grown up to our trellis wire here at the top, and now they've flopped over the wire and are already coming back down. You can see this is the leader of the plant here. It's already making its way back down, but pretty good cucumbers. We've been picking them every 2 days, a couple rows of them, so keeping us busy. And then we're trying for another set of cucumbers, some pickling cucumbers as well in here. And then our first round of beets is almost done being picked out. So that's what's going on in the big greenhouse. And I think I've shown this before, but we really like this greenhouse because it has this insect netting that we put on the outside, because a lot of the pests really like to come in and get the cucumbers and the eggplants. And so we put this netting all down the side. So even when we roll up the plastic to get ventilation, we're able to prevent some of the pests from getting in. And then out here in our back field, we'll just kind of glance at each growing area. We got some Swiss chard, and then a couple rounds of bell peppers. And then we're trying for an outdoor round of eggplants as well, but we're keeping the netting on the eggplants for now. So until they start to blossom and flower and everything, we'll keep the netting on. But this is one of our small tunnels. These beds have already had a crop in them this year, so this is their second crop of the year. Most of our beds get between 2 plantings a year and 6 plantings per year in each of these 100-foot beds. So outdoors, our cabbage is finally starting to do something. Just starting to condense at the middle. We've got a couple different types of cabbage this year. We got a cone-shaped cabbage, a green cabbage, and then of course a red cabbage. So always exciting. A couple rounds of outside carrots that, man, we've had so much rain, a little bit of washing out, you can tell in our low spot right there. I think they'll still be okay, but we've had 6 inches of rain just in the last 5 days. The farm looks pretty good for all the rain we've had. Some cute little fennel coming up there, and green onions. And then we're using a lot more of this insect netting this farm season, and I think it's helping a lot the crops stay cleaner, but also keep some of the pests off the plants. This lettuce, normally lettuce is not too susceptible to pests, but we've had such a strong cucumber beetle population that we felt the need to net the lettuce, even because they were going after the lettuce as well. So we'll take a quick pick in here. This is our large tomatoes, so these will be the heirloom slicing tomatoes. We've got 50-foot rows of those, and we're using a different trellising method for these, just up a single string. So we're pruning, off the suckers and looping them up the strings. They're getting pretty tall. The plants look really healthy, but they take a while to develop their fruits and start to mature. So we still got some time before the large tomatoes are ready. And then we threw in a couple rounds of determinate tomatoes. So they're trellised a different way, with the posts and with the string going horizontally. So all the different types of trellising and tomatoes is the goal. And then out in this tunnel is all peppers. So this whole tunnel, each bed had a different crop in it. This spring we had, what did we have? Some turnips out here, some tatsoi and Tokyo Bacana, and some early Mizuna and arugula as well. So these pepper plants, we get them in the ground in early May or mid-May, and then they'll sit here and hang out and grow and get really tall with their foliage, and we'll give them some fertility, and we'll pop off a lot of these early flowers. And just the peppers will start to come really productive in late July or August typically, and then into September. So I'll peek over here on these tunnels. This is the back side of our early tunnel that we had peas started. So these peas, I saw them if you're out at the plant sale. They were transplanted into the garden. So we started them in the nursery, transplanted in early March, and they've been yielding these great sugar snap peas for 4 or 5 weeks now. So really productive, many hundreds of pounds of peas off these 2 rows. And then we got some celery over here. This replaced a bed of kohlrabi. So celery, we'll hope to keep that growing and in the ground, all season there once it gets going. And this is our early round of green curly kale. Still looking nice, but it will come out eventually, pretty soon, because we have our outdoor kale is now doing great and looking nice. It's always satisfying to get a good crop of kale because they are susceptible to some of the pests. And then these are outdoor peas. They're just starting to produce peas. They're not quite fattening up yet, but we'll soon be picking off the outdoor peas as well. So lots of sugar snap peas because we know members really like them, and we like them too. And then in here, it was our first round in our tunnels for spinach. So we have a bed of spinach here, and then this was a bed of spinach, and then we flipped it out, and now we just put in lettuce, another round of lettuce. And this was some lettuce, and now it's flipped out into golden beets. And these 2 rounds of spinach and lettuce are about done. There's still some lettuce in there that looks nice, but this is the 2nd or 3rd cutting of this lettuce that we've had already off that bed. So it'll be ready to come out soon. And then out here in this small field section, we have our sprouting broccoli. So we're gonna be harvesting this today. All these awesome little shoots are super tender and yummy all the way down to here. And so we got a lot of it today. And then we have some dill. Be putting that in the CSA boxes this week. And then this is our outdoor hot peppers. So these will be for later in the year, but we don't grow a ton of hot peppers, but it's fun to have. Look at that nice cilantro. That'll be coming soon. And then we'll show you the outdoor backfield here, and then that'll pretty much be about it. We got first succession of broccoli here, so we're hoping for some big crown broccoli from these plants, and then a later succession of crown broccoli to try to spread out the harvest a little bit this spring. We will grow fall broccoli as well. And then this is our garlic patch here, so they've gotten big. It's exciting. Branching out nicely. We just took off the garlic scapes on some of the plants. Some of them are still growing, still have their garlic scapes. But soon they'll all be done. Little killdeer bird flying around here. And then these are some of our outdoor red beets. So you can see these ones, they were a little stressed out and tired of being in their trays. So the foliage actually turns red as a sign of a little bit of stress. And then these ones have been in the ground for a little bit while, and they've turned green, and they've started to grow and photosynthesize. These ones will turn green soon. You can even see brand new little green leaves. So after the plant stresses out, it'll send up new leaves, and they'll grow fine once they get going. This is our early round of zucchini and squash. So they are a delicious treat for cucumber beetles. So they'll be out here. We'll try to beat the cucumber beetles and at least harvest some. But you know, organic farming, we can look at those cucumber beetles. These were netted to protect from the cucumber beetles. Oops, we're all blurry. They were netted to protect from the cucumber beetles, and then once they start to flower and blossom, we have to unnet them, and that's when the cucumber beetles all hatched out. So, and over here we got Kate and Marie harvesting an outdoor planting of lettuce. So we'll take this into the wash station and bubble it up and bag it up for our members. But you can see again, we're using some of that netting to protect those. And then our onions, these are our yellow storage onions that we sometimes harvest fresh, and we sometimes let them go all the way to a storage at the end of the season. And that's pretty much it. There's not much going on inside the main nursery right now because we've planted everything out. There's a few extra rounds of crops that we'll keep planting throughout the summer. But yeah, we're kind of in full swing here in the farm. We're on week 7 of our membership CSA. So we really appreciate all the members. Hope you've had a good spring with us with all the greens and you know, all those tomatoes and eventually peppers and things coming soon. Have a good day.